Just out having a walk. That's my nuke yard over there with my truck. But I just cannot believe the growth of the grass here. This is a field they're going to cut for hay, and I've just come up for a little bit of a walk around because the people that own this land used to actually live on the site here with 2 yurts, and they had big polytunnels and they were going to live sustainably here, but they had to close it because they weren't able to have a license, a planning license. And I'm not saying anything against it or for it, it's just the rules. But I'm scouting around looking to see if there's any swarms in any of these trees, and I haven't found anything at the moment, which I'm surprised because today was a beautiful day. But this grass, if you can see the height there, is just tremendous. This is going to be cut for hay very shortly, and the amount of grass they're going to get off the field here this year is going to be amazing. So that's my mini plus over there, and that's a lot of my hives and nukes, and up there behind that hedge is a big yard full of beehives. It's just nice to have a walk around. I don't know if you've seen this as well. This is how quick everything happens in Brittany. The goat willow here that was in flower, 6 weeks ago, is already seeding. You can see. So you get this like almost snow from these seeds. And it's so invasive, this stuff. But anyway, it's interesting to see the tree just down there is even more full of it. It's absolutely full of it there, you can see. Anyway, my bees have water. There's a place they can drink there. There's other places around as well, so it's a really good place, this. And it's a lovely field because no one bothers me. There's all this dock to come into flower. Dock leaves. It's a shame they cut this, to be honest. But it won't be cut for a while yet. Look at that dock. That's one of the things that's going to come out very soon, dock. A Rumex. I know they don't like it in a field because it's pretty invasive in other areas and difficult to treat as far as the farmers are concerned. But this is just, look, even got corn cockle here, look. I don't even know the names of these things. I know there's nettles, I know there's grasses. I know that's veitch or vetch. That's little blue flowers. This is a thistle, which is great late summer, but obviously the farmers don't like too much of that because it's not very good for the cows to eat. But when this is made into hay, it's amazing. Absolutely beautiful. I just cannot believe that within the last 3 weeks this has grown so much. What a beautiful evening. Actually, I haven't been here all day because I've been stuck at home because I had to wait for the guy to come and empty the septic tank at home, which was unfortunately full. But it's done now. So I'm back out checking around the apiary today. Isn't that pretty? This whole field is massive. It goes up the back there, a big L shape. There's a train track that runs alongside here. And yes, that's rape. It's nearly finished, you can see. There's my bees, there's my access in, but I can't get in because there's a stream that runs underground, and this time of year it's really soft there. I can reverse in one part of it, but not much further, but it's enough for me. Anyway. Beautiful evening. There's the moon. It's going to be full moon tonight or tomorrow. And it'll be spectacular if we get a nice clear night like this. It's just, I love being outside when you get a full moon and it's like spring and everything is just absolutely booming. Everything is just galloping away, hell for leather, bees are swarming, birds are nesting. They're all doing their thing in an attempt to get everything laid down for the rest of the season as quick as they can in that competition. This was the site, Ollie, that got devastated by the hornets. This one survived, but the other 4 are dead. But I've got loads of hornets in the traps, so I suppose that's one thing. Anyway, it's trimmed. It's a little lane you get to it from the middle of nowhere. You might have been here, I can't remember, but I've just had to trim all this as well. But it's done. It's really quick to cut because it's not too long. It's still upright, if you know what I mean. So it's a good quick cut, but it's good to do because I can get all the brambles out as well. These are quite a few bees here. They're doing all right. So I'm up at the next apiary. This is like on a slight hill, but it's a really cool area, this, and all the valley over there, this area is all chestnut, stretching right through. This is another area that's brilliant, but this was devastated last year by the hornets. This is where I filmed me catching loads and loads and loads of hornets out the traps. And it was all pretty depressing, to be honest. Every single hive here fell victim in one reason or another through not requeening or Asian hornet pressure, or probably a bit of varroa, as we've said before. But anyway, we're not going to go into that. But what I'm here to do today is trim, like I'm doing the others. So I'm going to give this a whiz and clean all around the back here. Good time to do it before I bring back other hives. Whether I'll bring hives here to this apiary just yet, I don't know. I've got not enough hives to fill all my apiaries, so there'll be probably nukes going in here for a while, and then I'll change them into hives if possible later in the year. And let's get this done. Well, that's an awful lot better, and as I said before, dead easy to cut when it's this height. So this is a good apiary, and I can't wait to get it filled again. Frustrating, but that is beekeeping personified, and if you ever think otherwise, you're going to have a nasty shock if you lose some bees. So as you can see, the rape is pretty much done here. I'll just show you around the field. The tops are nearly done. They're tired now. There's not much left in it. There's a few flowers further down, but within 2 or 3 days, and if we get rain, that's it. It's finished. The flow has gone. It's over. So as much as I'm kind of disappointed it's the end of the spring flow, I'm actually massively relieved because now I can get on with some real beekeeping and stop worrying about keeping bees in boxes. But it was good. It did stimulate the bees, but I said a lot of swarming, and now we can look forward to some easier beekeeping, to be honest. And by the time the summer flow comes in about 5 to 6 weeks, we will be hopefully a lot better set up, and the bees able to cope with it a lot better. That's just my opinion, but that's what I'm finding, is that things are really tricky in the spring, and if we get a really early start and the bees aren't ready, or they're a bit weak from the previous year, it's that vicious circle you fall into, and you just have to do the best you can, and that's what I've done this year. So just been checking a few traps as well. I'm at this next apiary where I've already brought in a load of bees. There's no sign of any swarms here. I did go through the apiary last week when I added supers, or the week before when I added supers, but went through it again last week. And we've got obviously a good number of colonies here, so I'm quite pleased to come back here. I'm gonna strim around here, but there's not a lot to strim, as I said when I was here last week. But the thing is, if you don't do it now, within another 2 weeks it'll be like waist height. The problem is we get a lot of bracken here, and the bracken is just starting. That might not seem much, this, but if you come back in 3 weeks, all you'll see is bracken and no hives. It's literally that quick. And also I love to do around the base of the hives at the moment, because it's a great way of getting rid of all the young brambles, because they're the ones that you trip over in about 4 or 5 weeks when they start to grow. So it's just a quick whiz through here, but it's worth doing, and also change the hornet traps. But these are the queens that are the founding queens. Some bigger than others in this lot, but see the classic yellow legs. You can't mistake those. Asian Hornet queens. And these are all queens because they haven't got time. They won't have been around long enough to start raising enough young, because the first young anyway are actually really quite small. They're almost like wasp size, some of them. So that's a fly, but hardly any bycatch. I think when you're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, when you think about 10 Asian Hornet queens that are dead, and even if they all didn't go on to make nests, if you have some bycatch, if 5 of those nests are successful, that's probably going to be 200 kilos of insects in the environment lost because of those 5 Asian Hornets that made queens. I forget the exact figure of how many how much consummation of insects nests have each year, but it's a staggering amount. And when people go on to me about, oh, you should make all your traps eco-friendly and with no bycatch, well, it's possible, but it's a tremendous amount of work, and you've got, as well as having the traps that are zero bycatch, you've got to also manage them more, and I can't do that. My attitude is, surely if I'm catching Asian Hornets that are not going to depress the ecosystem around, a few insects lost along the way are way, way, way infinitesimally small amounts compared to what would have been consumed by adult Asian Hornets nest when they're fully developed. I mean, it's staggering. So what I'm doing is better than nothing. It's not, perfect. We get a little bit of bycatch, but we are generally helping the ecosystem around here. We're helping other insects and animals because they will in turn have insects to eat. So that's my thought. Anyway, better get on with this trimming, get this one done. So at the next apiary, I love this place. I don't get bothered by anybody or anything here. All this around is gorse, goat willow. It's a really good early apiary, but there is summer honey as well here. Good colonies will bring in summer chestnut, but it is amazing in the spring. All that there is goat willow. I'll go into the apiary itself. I always keep this clear. It's a bit up and downy, and in here it's a good apiary, but there's a couple of, let's just say, bees that are a little bit feisty. So majority are Asian Hornets, and we're catching quite a lot, as you can see. So that is good news. We've got to be proactively trapping. I know there's one in here as well. There it is. That's the jab prod trap, which is working well as well. It doesn't matter how many that gets or does not get, but there's one in there, which is the most important thing. Oh, there's 2 in there. So that's good news. Anyway, gotta go. So an early start this morning. Managed to get into this apiary, which is great because I couldn't get in here last week because it was too slippery on that way up. I've got a load of bees in the back and they've all got to be unloaded. And I've also got a couple of colonies that I didn't close that well that opened up at the last second. And there's a few bees that are wandering around on the top, and they're also a bit shitty, so I've got to get myself kitted up pretty quick. But we're here and it's a really good site, this. So let's get it done. Problem here is that the wild boar again have been back and they've rolled up the ground over the winter and made it a major problem. One hive here that's alive that could have swarmed, but I was here the other day. Now it's still full of bees, which is good. I'll come back later with the strimmer and strim around here as well, so there's plenty of bees in there. That's not swarmed, so it's good. It's a great spot, this. Let's get all these hives unloaded. Got to carry them over again, but hey, it is what it is. So back where I started this morning at 6:30, or just before 6. Got some feisty bees here, but they're a couple of colonies I found that I've just transferred into hives. These last 6. 3 up there at the top, one on the left there in the box, that's ill. I don't know quite what sort. It looks like chalk brood, but it could be European foul brood, so I'm going to probably just destroy that colony because it's a very, very tiny little colony and it's done nothing in the last 2 months, and I don't want to take any risks. That's how I manage my disease. If I find anything that I'm at all not happy about, it goes. It's a crappy queen anyway. I might consider requeening it. I can take it home where there's no other hives and just requeen it there perhaps. We shall see. But anyway, we are done. I've just got to come back tonight and take the last 7 of these away. And then there is no more in this apiary. This apiary is empty and it will stay empty now till probably end of September. I've got a load of hives to take away. I've loaded as many as I can on the truck. It's got 2 empty hives there from this morning's 11. So I've been dropping them off, doing different things, different places, and now I'm off to the next apiary to get anything put into hives there. The last one's done there. So it's been a good day so far. Weather's been a bit iffy, but we've done all right. This is such an amazing place. So when you see it in the sunshine, it's beautiful, you know. Perfect quarry site. 3 tiers here and 1 there. It's 4, and I get about 44, 45 nukes here in the winter. So it's a good place. So back again at the other mating yard this afternoon. I'm just doing some more late transfers. You know, it's like I can't even get these out of the box. There's so many bees in here, on the lid, on the roofs. It's good news. I mean, I'm not moaning. I mean, they're just so prolific. I mean, look at this. It's just, everyone you look at, it's like full of bees. I've got to get these in tonight. Some of these a little bit less, but they're all, these are the splits I did. So I left the queen here and transferred the colony. Made a nuke from the colony, and these are the last ones. What I do is I'll actually open the corner, and if the bees need somewhere to go, it gives them a bit of extra space temporarily, just so they can get in there before if they get too strong. But everywhere I look, all these are splits I did where I had to take the queen away so she wouldn't swarm. You know, it's all good. So all these are hives that are going to go off. I'm actually just had a phone call from the farmer that the buckwheat's just been sown yesterday, so that'll be up in about a week to 2 weeks, and I need to get up there in about 4 weeks. But that's perfect for me. So some will go to the buckwheat, some will go to other apiaries. I just need to get these in boxes now, and then I'm finished. I'm done until I do the next load of splits. But anyway, it's all good. I'm just happy to be out in the nice weather. There's been a lot of mixed weather this week. We've had a few days, 3 days now, of fairly good weather, much warmer temperatures. So finally it's kind of settling down and we're losing that mad rush. It's just generally much more gentle now and much more sustainable. This is the kind of thing I'm seeing. I'm actually seeing that blue pollen there next to the yellow. That is Phacelia. So somewhere around here is a farmer's sown Phacelia, but these colonies are just too strong again. I should have got these done a couple of days ago. But the queen is still laying. There's eggs in there. There's not just larvae, there's young eggs that have just been laid. So she's just about still okay. If I find a cell, I look in it, and if there's sealed cells, then the queen gets taken away and I make a split. If they're just starting, with the flow stopping, you see, I've got a bit of flexibility now. With the flow stopping, that swarming impulse will soon go. I know from history here, this is what happens with us. As soon as you get that nectar flow diminishing or gone, which it is now, the swarming impulse just finishes, so we can get on with some proper beekeeping. You know, it just calms everything down. So if I just take out the open cups with an egg in and there's no jelly and they're not even really well charged, we'll be fine from now on. But I mean, you know, I showed you frames before, but I mean, you don't get any much better than that. Look at that pollen. That's going to sustain those bees well while we've got a mini dearth on in a bit of a May-June gap we have. But there's about 5 weeks to go, but I will be feeding these colonies if they need it, but if they don't, they ain't going to get anything. They are so full. I'd rather them be a little bit depleted in the next couple of weeks than any more swarming. I just want to get them back to where they should be. But that's a really good queen in here. You can see these are just ferocious bees. Obviously, us beekeepers, we always show you the best frames. These frames were brand new when I split this colony. And I split this one harder by the look of it, really hard, and it's still full of bees and brood and hatching brood. And that's how they come on so quick, so well. Really nice. I just love this hook on my AZ Hive tool. It is so good having a hook where you can just lever the frames out. Just look at these frames. Fantastic. Every cell has something in it. There's just no room. I'm so glad I'm transferring this today. Completely full. There's some weight in that frame, honestly, it's really heavy. This is an ideal transfer, this, because you've still got the nuke facing exactly where it was. So the bees still come and go thinking, well, they might be confused when they get here to see the colony a bit open at the back, but it's easy because your field bees are still foraging, no problem. And when I've done it, I tip the bees in that's left, and then I will then put that hive in its place of the nuke. So it's so easy to do. You can see in the bottom, the bees have been cleaning out the frames I gave them, the old pollen. And that's a really good sign. Nice hygienic bees doing their housework. Well, it doesn't mean they're maybe hygienic, but it's a good sign. See if we can see the queen. There she is. Beautiful tenuta queen from last year. Doing a wonderful job. Let's get her back in safely. This last frame looks terrible. What a joy it is to be able to do this, you know, in a bit of sunshine and everything's beautiful, and this is really the best part of the year, to be honest. Another crappy frame of brood. Look at that. Too much honey in that frame, but as I said, that's going to be over now. I know there's loads of people around with beautiful frames like this, but it's just so lovely to show it off, because why not? And it's not the only one like this. These queens are absolutely amazing, I have to say. I'm super chuffed with them. Look at the amount of bees there. It's fantastic. That's after a split, you know, and we're only first week of May. So this colony will give me summer honey. They'll explode in this box. I'll have a super on in 2 days. There'll be not much coming and going from now, but they will give me a good crop of summer honey. I'm pretty sure of it. And then a split afterwards. So this has given me 2 splits and will have done. What an investment, huh? The amount of bees in this box, look. So all we do is we put the hive in its place, remembering to make sure that the door is open. That smell is just incredible. And I'm going to just knock these bees in to the bottom. And then, if you know the queen's in, give them a knock. And you can see all the bees flying back to the same place, which is why we do this like this. Notice how they're all horrible and biting and stinging and shit bees, basically. Great to be out today. Whatever you're doing, hope you have blue sunny skies and lots of good bees. Take care. Bye for now.